Hello, everyone. Today we're going to do another Saints deck. We're going to do a flip through. This is Voices of Saints by Scarabeo. This is the box. It doesn't really have an author. It has some writing on the side here. Okay. Like a lot of Scarabeo decks, or however you want to say it, this brand, they don't. Sometimes they'll produce these decks and they don't really give an author. So I'm wondering if they just kind of produce them with their company. Oh, wait, here we go. Right on the back here. Graphics by Pietro Alijo. Issa Donnelly. Okay, it was made by quite a few different people. Here we go. We found the artist. This was made in 2004. This is different than the... I posted another Saints deck not too long ago, actually. This is different than the Robert Plass deck. Okay, so these are two separate decks. I believe this one came out later. So without further ado, let's flip through. Okay, this is a beautiful deck. Saint... Okay. This is obviously the Magician. This is the back of the cards. Okay. Now, this deck had been sitting... Funny story about this deck. This deck had been sitting at a local metaphysical shop for a really long time, and I worked for this woman. And she goes, I can't sell this deck, because people don't like to buy high-priced decks there. They really like the cheaper decks. And I was like, here, let me take some pictures of it. I'll sell it. So I posted it on the internet, and it took about a month, and somebody bought it. So I literally had it. I have it for another 30 minutes. It's going to get packed up and sent out. I keep trying to tell her, like, hey, you should list some of your stuff online, some of your higher priced goods online. Somebody will buy it. And she's like, I'm too busy. Or, I just have other things to do. I'm just like, well, if you want to be more successful in selling metaphysical goods, it's really just moving online. And that's a drop for anybody. That's like some wisdom for anybody that's trying to get into the tarot business, anyone that's trying to get into the crystal business, sell incense. Metaphysical stuff is moving online. That's where I see it going. I've been doing this for three-ish or more years now, and people are buying decks on the internet. That's just the honest truth. Yeah, you can go into Borders and all these different little shops and buy a tarot deck, but the decks that are rare, that have a high value, they're selling online. You get a bigger net of people, you get a bigger population to pull from. Oh, that's a really beautiful one. And you can get international buyers. I mean, I've sent tarot decks to Canada, England, all sorts of really cool places. Now, the little white book has attributions for each of these saints. I'm not going to go through them. Just for the sake of time, I really like to keep these flip-throughs under 10 minutes. But if you do end up purchasing this deck, they are in there. So ask for the little white book. You can maybe find a copy online. The artwork is really beautiful on this deck. I was going to say something, but I'm a little tired today for some reason. I had a big day yesterday. Oh, I was going to talk about how much you can get this deck for. This is not a cheap deck. For some reason, this is one of those low Scarabeo decks that are people pay high prices for. I've seen this deck sell anywhere between $100 and some people are asking $300. Now that isn't a selling price. I sold this one for like $140 out the door with tax and shipping. I'm not going to tell you how much I bought it for from this little shop, but I did make money. So to be fair, let's say if you're lucky, you can get this deck for like $60. Now, I honestly feel like if you have a plug for tarot, especially rare tarot decks, they're gonna be cheaper in person. Every time I've bought a rare deck from somebody in person, it's always been well below market value that's on the internet. Now, sometimes you'll find really good stuff on the internet for really cheap, and the person doesn't know what they have, or they just don't want it. They're going through their parents' stuff that died, and they just want to sell it. So there's those situations too. That one's a little ominous for some reason. This is also one of those decks that if you're a Christian, you're probably not going to get chastised for using it because it's very Christian based. There's a lot of fellows in my little community here in Ann Arbor, Michigan that used to be Christian, and they come to alternative spirituality to kind of get some different observation. There's a woman yesterday I was speaking with. She moved to Ireland, or she's going to be there for a few years. She was raised Catholic, came to metaphysics, and now she's a healer. And she said she's Presbyterian, so she's not Catholic anymore, but she's still holding her faith. That's a nice one. This is actually a really nice deck. Mikhail. Nicholas. There I am. Cool. Let's flip through these last few. This is a beautiful deck, though. I'd probably say this is one of the nicer decks. I could see why this deck people are asking $300 for it. Okay, there we go. Voices of Saints by Lo Scarabeo.